Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are, whatever time it is. I'm Abs of October Red and we are back again for news and reviews. And today it's breaking news. It's regarding Murat Gassiev fighting Tony Yoka for the WBA Heavyweight Title in Russia. I'm going to read the press release because this is what I've had. Don't know how many people are privy to getting the press release, but I'm going to read it out to you guys and then we're going to talk about it after. So, IBA Pro is set to deliver another seismic night of championship boxing as WBA Heavyweight King Murat Gassiev defends his world title against the French Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka in a collision that headlines IBA Pro 19 in Moscow on July the 11th. The eyes of the boxing world will descend on the Russian capital this summer as WBA heavyweight champion Murat Gassiev makes the first defence of his crown against 2016 Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka at IBA Pro 19. Co-promoted by IB Challenger, Epic Sports and Entertainment, Patriot Promotions, Euro Boxing Promotions, Queensbury Promotions and Yoka Boxing in association with Winline, IBA Pro 19 promises to deliver one of the most explosive heavyweight matchups of 2026. Well, hey. Russian icon Murat Gassiev enters the contest as the reigning WBA heavyweight champion, having become his nation's first world heavyweight title holder in over a decade with his electrifying sixth-round knockout of Bulgaria's Murat Pulev at IBA Pro 13 in December. Last year, obviously. The 32-year-old North Ossetia native boasts a fearsome record of 33-2 and 26 of those wins are by KO. And this considered by many to be one of the sport's most devastating punchers, as demonstrated by his highlight reel knockout of the year of Pulev in front of a capacity crowd at the Dubai duty-free tennis stadium. Murat Pulev still in his prime, eh? Now, the man fittingly nicknamed Iron returns home to defend the belt that Russia waited 13 years to reclaim. I love that number 13, by the way, my lucky number. WBA heavyweight world champion Murat Gassiev said, "It is an honour to defend the WBA world heavyweight title for the first time and to do it at home in front of my Russian fans. It makes it extra special. Tony Yoka is a tremendous champion, an Olympic gold medalist, a big, strong heavyweight with serious skills. I have huge respect for him. I would like to thank both my team and President Kremlev for this opportunity. On July the 11th, I will do my absolute best to win and keep the belt in Russia." So you know this cannot go to points whatsoever. In the opposing corner, Paris puncher, I like that, Tony Yoka, 15-3 and 12 of the wins coming by a knockout, arrives in Moscow with an opportunity to further cement his place in the French boxing history books. After the 33-year-old famously captured Olympic super heavyweight gold in Rio 2016, Yoka now sets his sights on becoming his nation's first ever world heavyweight champion in the professional ranks. Standing at a gargantuan 6'7" tall, Yoka possesses the size, reach and skill set to trouble any heavyweight on the planet. Now just one fight away from realising his ultimate ambition, a world title. The Frenchman is adamant that he will leave Moscow as the new force in the blue ribbon heavyweight division. Olympic gold medalist Tony Yoka said, "I'm going to win this world title for all my people in France and Congo that have not only stuck with me, but believe in me becoming a professional world champion. I've been working hard for over 2 years now with Don Charles, and I'm ready to showcase to the boxing world the changes in my professional boxing. I want to thank Don and my team for backing me 100% through this period, as well as Frank and George Warren as the best promoters in the world, Queensbury, for getting me this opportunity for which I will make the most of." some key points in there. We'll go back to that in a second. Umar Kremlev, the president of International Boxing Association, IBA Pro, said, the IBA is incredibly proud to bring an outstanding heavyweight fight of this magnitude to Moscow. Murat Gassiev and Tony Yoka represent the absolute pinnacle of boxing excellence. One, an incredible WBA world champion defending his crown at home. The other, a legendary Olympic gold medalist fighting for professional glory. This event represents the key value that the IBA stands for, providing the opportunity, an ultimate platform for the world's premier talent to compete at the highest level. July the 11th will not just be an unforgettable IBA Pro evening for the fans, being a landmark, historic moment for global boxing. Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren said, this is a great fight and one that we at Queensberry truly believe our man will win. Tony and Don Charles have been working extremely hard in the gym, so we fully expect them to go to Russia and do the business against a tough opponent in Gassiev and bring that title back to France. Al Siesta, promoter of IB Challenger, said, Murat Gassiev is the WBA World Heavyweight Champion, and after he claimed the title in Dubai, we promised that he would be in exciting fights in 2026. Gassiev versus Yoka is a very exciting fight. Tony is an Olympic gold medalist, a giant of a man, and a French sporting hero. He is coming to Moscow to take Murat's belt, but Gassiev is ready. This is an excellent heavyweight title fight and we are honoured to deliver it on home soil for Murat. To the boxing world, get your tickets and get ready, because July the 11th in Moscow is going to be unforgettable. So that was the press release for today. So that is the fight. I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. I wanted to get up the records of the fighters. So let's have a look. Just a brief overview then. Tony Yoka is 15-3. 12 of his wins come by way of knockout. He's ranked number 33 in the world and number 1 in France. He is 6'7", dons a reach of 82 inches, and obviously he fights out of Paris in France. His alias, and I didn't realise this actually, or his alias, however you pronounce it, is the artist. So it'd be interesting to see what he can actually do. This fight's going to be at VTB Arena in Moscow. I am looking forward to that. We can have a look at Yoka. He has fought, let's have a look. 2024 he fought twice, 2025 he fought twice, and obviously he's going into 2026, July, you know, what? Is it second quarter of the year? Yeah, second quarter of the year. He's fighting for the first time in 2026. So he fought Bruchetta. I'd say that was the combat fight, and I think that might have been on a Dean White card actually, because that was at the Tolworth Recreation Centre, and that was back 2 years ago actually, in July. And he got a KO in round number 4. That was an 8-rounder that he was in. Then he boxed Lamar Griggs. I think it might have been another small horse show. Let's have a look. It was in Swindon, and he got the KO from that, round number 2 of 6. And then he fought in France, in Paris, Arslan Yaliev, by the looks of it, and he got a UD points win on that one, a 10-rounder. And then the fight that I've seen him in last as well was the Patrick Corte fight, where he got the KO in round number 1 and 10, that round 1 of 10. That was like a blowout for him. But obviously before he had the 3 back-to-back losses, and I think the one that stood out for me the most was the Martin Bakole loss. And I think Martin Bakole getting that win propelled Martin Bakole's kind of career off the back of that win against Tony Yoka. Tony Yoka, considering his position, I haven't looked at the WBA rankings. Maybe I could get that out while I'm talking to you to see where he's actually ranked. He seems to have literally hit gold from being ranked number 32 in the world. to get this fight. Let's have a look. World Boxing Association rankings at heavyweight 2026. Obviously, you've got, Alex is the super champion, isn't he? Bless him, Alex. We did a video on him yesterday. If you're interested in my waffle, go and have a listen to that. But we've got Murat as the champion. Interestingly enough, and this is one of the things why I did this video, I did hear about this fight, but I was told to shut up about it because obviously you don't speak about things until they're confirmed. But I knew that this fight was going to happen. Even though I saw a lot of speculation online, is that obviously Moses Atauma, being ranked #1, is going to potentially fight Gassiev. That was the fight that everyone was talking about. So let's have a look. We've got Moses Atauma, Jarrell Miller, Fury, Joshua, Heisa, Hrgovic, Jurgen, Daniel Perro, Martin Bakoli's in there. He's not in the top 15, so honestly, he's literally landed on his feet here, like landed on his feet in some really cushioned flooring that is on blades, and that is just not going to get through that really thick cushioned flooring. He's done really well here to get this fight, which goes to show that connections in boxing definitely does help. I do still think it's a good fight though. All jokes aside, I do think it's a really good fight for him. Happy that he's got the opportunity. There was potential of him fighting Solomon Dakers, as they both lost their, opponents for their fights. Dakers was supposed to fight Anderson, and obviously Yoka was supposed to fight Lawrence Okoli. So it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, both with Queensbury, yep, let's get this on. But obviously there were bigger plans going on in the background. So a massive fair play to Tony Yoka for just landing in a pot of gold and getting this opportunity. The only thing that sometimes I don't like to do these videos is I've not yet spoke with Tony. I've seen him before. I don't know if I've been introduced to him properly, but I've not spoken to him properly. And I'm mindful of things that I say before I meet somebody, because I'd rather voice my opinion. And you know what I'm like. I'll sit down and I'll say, wow, you really landed on your feet here. Because I would. You know what I'm like. It's very... It just doesn't happen. If I'm going to say something here, I'll say it when I see you. Whether it's off camera or on camera, we can have that conversation, because I'm one of these that doesn't mind when, somebody puts me in my place because I'm wrong. I can take that accountability, because I often do get things wrong, and I'm cool with that. So I'm looking forward to meeting Tony Yoka and sitting down and having a chat with him and really dissecting his career and seeing where he is and what he's hoping to achieve, and counting his lucky stars that he's got where he's got to land himself in this fight. So let's have a look at Kubrat. I've got Pulev on the mind. Murat Gassiev, because he fought Kubrat last. So he's 33, 2-0, and he's KO artist. He's got 26 KOs out of his 33 wins. Obviously, he's nicknamed the Iron Russia. Let's have a look. He's 6'2". Yoka's 6'7". He's ranked #5 in the world, and obviously #1 in Russia. And obviously, we can see that he's the #1 for the WBA. So let's have a look. The last fight he lost was in 2023, and that was against Otto Wallin, and it was a split decision points. So arguable whether he did have a look. Let me have a look at the scores. So it's 113, 115, 117, 111, and 113, 115. So interesting that one of them had him bigger on the cards than, and the other two had it closer. So interesting. So maybe I need to watch that fight back to see how it actually went. But he's been on a winning streak for a while. The last time before that, he lost to Alexander Usyk. That was in Moscow, and that was a points loss. I'm trying to think. That would have probably been at cruiserweight, to be fair. Yes, it was for the IBF, WBC, and WBO. So he lost on points for that, and quite high loss on points as well. Unanimous decision for that one. But I'm going to just keep my eye on his heavyweight record. So really good fighter. When you look at, obviously, he's 32. He's still a baby, really, in boxing. What's that, 32? So he's what, 1992, 1993? So he's a young lad. So he's still got a chance. He looks weathered. I think it's because he had his debut in 2011. And I think Yoka had his, I believe, in 2000 and, was it 17? Yeah. But Yoka's actually 2 years older than him. So albeit Gassiev might look like the older fighter, in fact, he's not. He's just more weathered. He's got more experience in boxing. But he's actually the younger fighter. Yeah, it is a good fight, but I want to know what you think, what are your thoughts on it. I am going to try, like I said, and get a proper sit down with Tony, with Don Charles before this fight happens. It's a few weeks away, so no doubt he's going to be starting his camp if he's not in camp already. So hopefully I'll get down to the gym and do some work around him with Don Charles. You know my style. Instagram for the reels and YouTube for the discussions. So should be an interesting conversation. I hope everything goes well. Obviously there's no injuries, and then these guys can get this fight on. Russia, he's going into Gassiev's home crowd. We do know what Russia's very patriotic, obviously. It's their fighter. They're going to want their fighter to win. So Yoka's going to be going into a very, very hostile fight. So when you look at that mental aspect, which is another thing that I've often looked at and thought, okay, is he like confident within himself? He's going to definitely have to have that confidence, which I believe Don Charles can get that out of him to show what he's made of, and potentially give Gassiev a really good fight. I've got to do homework. I've got to go back and watch each of their fights. I wasn't doing it before this video, but I really want to do that, just to get a feel for both fighters, their style, and just to see how I think that measures up. And that is something that I will hopefully speak to Tony about. But one of the things that I did want to go through before I leave you guys is the fact he seems quite patriotic. All my people in France and Congo that have not only stuck with me, but still believe in me becoming a professional world champion. So you can see that he's very patriotic to his, his heritage, Congolese and French. He's also emphasised, I've been working hard for over 2 years now with Don Charles. So he brings in the fact that he's got a new coach, or like he's been working behind the scenes with him for the past 2 years. And he goes on to say, and this is where the gentleman side comes out, and I'm not knocking any other fighter that Don Charles has had, but I want to thank Don and my team for backing me 100% through this period. Obviously, as well as Frank and George Warren at the best promoters in the world, Queensbury, for getting this opportunity for which I will make the most of. I like that because there's key words in there. Is about country, is about people that support him, and obviously you're going to pass that. You're going to be grateful towards your promoters, because without Frank Warren, let's face it, this wouldn't have happened. So he's scored very well there, and that is because obviously Don Charles has got Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois is a world champion, etc., etc. So it just goes to show in boxing, and often I speak to fighters about this, potentially because it's more personal off camera, even though you might see some remnants in some of the conversations that I have. With boxing, don't get me wrong, you have to work hard, you have to train hard, you've got to put the work in. But sometimes in boxing, you can get into positions because you're favoured, because somebody can bring you in, because there's that networking available, and you've got to make the most of that, where a lot of them are literally scratching around on the outskirts, maybe not that camera friendly or not that social media friendly, and it's a harder task for them because we're quite shallow, aren't we? And I'll put my hands up for that. We're quite shallow, and we kind of like goes for what glitters, what shines, and then maybe that hard work and that talent sometimes gets overlooked, because there's plenty of fighters that are fantastic fighters that I have no clue who they are. Number one, because I don't actively go out looking for them, or number two, I can't really see them on social media because maybe they're not being promoted as well as they should be, etc, etc. So there's all that. But Tony Yoka's literally won a lottery ticket. He's in a fantastic position, and I can actually say I admire him for actually giving Don Charles some credit for once, for getting him into that position. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I want to know what you think, guys. That's enough of me waffling today. I can't believe 2 days in a row. I'm still a bit bunged up, if you can hear it. Please comment and let me know what you think. You know I like to reply to the comments. I'm interested in people's opinions as well, because I'm just a boxing fan at the end of the day, and I don't sit here and proclaim to know everything. But one thing I won't be doing is a prediction, because every time I do a prediction, I get them wrong. Before I set up my channel, I used to be spot on with predictions, and people used to actually put bets on my predictions because I was always accurate. Sometimes I could even call the round. But when I set up the channel and I just started doing predictions, it started flopping. So literally, you will never get a prediction out of me ever again. But listen, enjoy the last, well, hopefully we get a week long of beautiful weather in the UK. I'm sure there's thunderstorms set to come soon, but just enjoy your time, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as we say at October Red, stay ready.